Ryan from North Carolina wants to ask, are debate bros helpful in the long run? Ryan, I have thoughts. What are yours?
Yeah, so first off, thanks for taking my call. And I've been a fan of you guys since the before time, the ACA days.
Oh, cool.
And part of the reason I'm such a big fan is because of, the debate content. When you guys talk to someone, you have them tell what they believe and why. And sorry, anxiety's getting to me.
You're good.
Okay.
Basically, are you guys familiar with the debate bros by the name of Vaush or Destiny?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, then you know where I'm going.
I can get a sense, yeah.
Not so much for me.
I'm a big fan of their content a bit, in the sense that they agree a lot with my own beliefs. Like, they're progressives politically, they're atheists, and they like to take the fight to very conservative, very reactionary streamers and people like that. So, but they also happen to be pieces of shit. And I think that. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep jumping ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, yeah. So all I'm getting at is, yes, I know that they're valuable for folks like us who happen to be progressives, who happen to want to see our side, for lack of a better word, win. But at the same time, the people that they're de-radicalizing also happen to be pieces of shit. And it seems like they're just interested in fighting more than actually promoting our side. And I think that's going to end up having a negative effect on us, politically and socially in the future. Sorry, I'm sounding scatterbrained. I just want to see what you guys think.
No, you're doing great.
You are. That was beautifully put. Beautifully put. No worries at all.
I think we're going to have different views.
Really?
Possibly.
I'm very curious about your views first. Let's go. What's coming?
Okay. I think that not only are they useful, I think they're necessary.
Okay. Real fast, Eric. Let us establish first that you do not know who Vaush or Destiny are as people. You have not followed the controversies.
No, I haven't.
Okay. That's all I wanted to get out of the way before we continue.
The idea here, though, is that when you're talking about toxicity, when you're talking about people being angry and getting really, really into it, you're going to have that. That's something that we understand. I think that as the community grows, you're going to have more diversity in it. The idea that somebody who would leave religion finding out that, hey, everything that I believed turns out it's not true. There are people who are angry, and a lot of people aren't interested in creating community. They're interested in fighting back against the thing that hurt them. And to say, hey, you know what? You can't do that. No, I understand that. I do. And I think that that kind of aggression has helped a lot of people go, you know what? That's really, really toxic. I hate that. I'm a believer and I'm going to prove them wrong. And then they look into it and go, oh crap, I turns out I don't have as strong of a grounding as I thought I did. And it winds up leading them to have better, knowledge of what their faith system is, or it can lead them out of their belief system. And so that is important. And I don't want to pretend like that isn't a necessary piece. What I do want to do is I want to point out other shows like this, that I think are very much indicative of the growing community that we're creating, the diverse community that has people who aren't all angry. And unfortunately, yes, we're in a time where that, a lot of the really firebrand angry people are getting more attention. But I think over time, it's going to fill out and become more robust. I agree, and I absolutely hate toxicity. I heard that there are a lot of really shitty things that happened with people that were mentioned. I think there's something awful that happened with Vaush.
Something.
I don't follow this stuff because I don't follow this stuff because it makes my blood boil.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about someone's immoral or horrendous actions. Specifically, I'm talking about being an angry atheist. Yeah, it makes us look bad. But you know what? There are a lot of angry atheists. And I'm not going to shut them out of the club. What I'm going to do is I'm going to welcome them in, hopefully, and give them more. You can't be angry forever. And that's where you need to build up. That's where you need to start creating. And that's what we're doing. So is it helpful in the long run? Yeah, because in the long run, I think that it will be a chapter in what is hopefully going to be a long story that, call me positive. Call me optimistic.
That is very optimistic. Ryan, before I give you my 2 cents, I would love to hear what you have to say about Eric's perspective.
Well, I would rationalize it in that way as well. I would always tell myself, well, we need a firebrand. We need. They have a lot of the qualities that I see in Matt Dillahunty. It's just he's a lot more, I guess, measured in his responses with people. Whenever he's not on his show, of course. But at the same time, I think we don't have to rationalize hurting people in order to make sure our side wins. Because, you can beat if you have the correct arguments, you can beat someone in a debate, and you don't have to resort to, I don't know, the more detestable sides of, id poll and, the types of things that cause people true harm.
Well, and it's less convincing. I mean, if you're doing something that's causing harm like that, do you really think you're being very convincing? Are people changing their opinions for good reasons because you did something awful?
I don't think so. And that's what it comes down to for me, because it seems like you're just trading one side for the other. You're picking someone else to hate. I don't think hate is the answer. I think, understanding is the answer. And I think you get to understanding with empathy rather than, hate.
I agree with that. I think.
Let's hear it, V.
Well, I have a very different experience, I think, than a lot of people in the atheist community, because the intersection of groups that I exist in, my intersectionality, and I know it's a bad word in a lot of atheist circles, so I apologize for offending your delicate ears, makes it so that the people who gravitate to people like Vaush, to people like Destiny, and who find that kind of content the thing that they crave, even after they de-radicalize, if that is the end result, which, I'm sure that they hope it is. That type of person who is convinced by yelling, who is convinced by, oh, that person had the better insult, or that person is funnier in the way that they make fun of other people, that type of person is going to then move into my sphere. And that is not good for many people like me, because they are not receptive to actual empathetic arguments as much as they are to who yelled more, who made more fun of X, who was edgier. And so what it does is it actually dilutes the safety that people like me find in those communities. Is that a selfish reason? Yes, sure. But I think it's worth bringing up that when we have a video clip that goes viral, or our version of viral, which is still only about 20,000, we can tell automatically which clips have been picked up by the algorithm and circulated to groups outside of the one that explicitly wants to be part of Skeptic Generation, because the comments get toxic as fuck. The comments start being horrible. And we're like, oh, I can think of 3 or 4 different channels for whom this video was next up. And they just clicked on it and then brought that toxicity into this community. And hey, if that's where you're at and you want to learn more and you want to be better at empathizing and thinking about things rationally and skeptically, cool. We're here for you. We will work with you through that. But it does have, by and large, a negative effect to de-radicalize someone and have someone all of a sudden be like, I was a neo-Nazi yesterday, but because I watched this Vaush video where he was super mean to this other neo-Nazi, I'm now a liberal. Yay. That is not de-radicalization. that is adopting a different label and bringing all of that toxicity and that lack of deconstruction into a new group that is then going to be harmed by that worldview. So is it useful? Maybe for some people, absolutely. Is it something that we should be prioritizing as the face that we put forward? And unfortunately, most of the faces of the skeptical progressive community do happen to be people like Vaush and Destiny. That then becomes a problem because that is the type of person we are going to attract, and that is going to negatively impact the people who are here to deconstruct, to find better, more humanistic reasons to collaborate and build community and actually do the building up as opposed to the tearing down. And I got off my soapbox.
Okay, and I've got to fight you on this.
Well, I feel like this would be a very interesting versus topic, but I also think that we've been on the line with Ryan for a little bit. We do have additional callers, and I do want to get Ryan's feedback on this.
You basically articulated everything that I was trying to say that my anxiety-addled brain couldn't get out. So, yeah, I don't want to throw shade on the idea of debate in its entirety. Like I said, I love watching you guys, and my favorite content happens to be whenever you bring on someone like Robin or someone who we very obviously disagree with. I keep saying we. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be parasocial.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good, man. We're okay.
Yeah, but someone that ideas that you very obviously disagree with, and you're sufficiently confident that you can deal with, and then you just go ham on them. And I feel like I'm part of the problem because I'm the one who seeks out these Vaush videos to see him annihilate Nazis. I'm the one who goes to these Destiny debate panels to see him, obliterate conservatives and stuff like that. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out a way that maybe we could change the discourse, well, elevate the discourse, if you will.
Yeah. I think honestly, Ryan, it is a way to get through the door, right? But if we just let people through that door and say, okay, well, you're in now, that's all you needed, we're good, then that's not enough. We need to make sure that if we are funneling people from a de-radicalized standpoint, they need to be going somewhere. They need to be getting additional content, additional support to get them out of that headspace of being angry, reactionary, tear down mindset, because that's not getting us anywhere. I'm sorry, Eric, I know that you're okay. Ryan, we're going to let you go so that you're not just sitting on the phone. But we really appreciate you calling in. Thank you for conquering that anxiety and talking with us.
Yeah.
This was a really good topic, and I think that it's going to result in probably a much longer conversation between Eric and me later. So
agreed.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, before we jump to the next call, we only have about 15 minutes. I do want to get like the nugget of why you're writhing in your chair right now. What is going on?
So you're acting as if, or it sounds as if that I'm so upset by this.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
What? Tell me.
So the atheist group isn't just a club that everybody is poured into. Are there conservative atheists? Yes, there are. Do they find that often they don't have a place? Yes, they do. They deserve a place. It's not under the same roof as us. The idea that, there are these toxic people, I think that they should have a place with each other. That's fantastic. That's fine. And where we can, collaborate on things like separation of religion and government, just fine. But if people are going to be assholes, cool, let them be assholes. But don't cut off or blame their entry into their community as something that is dangerous for ours. If somebody comes into a community that they're not comfortable in or that they ideologically disagree with, they still need to look for their community. But the idea that we're all under a large enough roof that we need to kind of gatekeep it like that bothers the heck out of me, because it just means that they just need to find the roof that they belong under. They're still atheists. It just bothers me that we're treating them as if we need to keep them in our circle. There are other circles, and they can go into those circles. And if they go through toxic YouTubers and all that, fantastic. Then that creates a bigger separation between us and them, so that we don't have to deal with that as much. But when you're pointing towards communities that are harmed, those are communities that are harmed. Agreed. They deserve their place, and so do the shitty people. They just don't need to be under the same roof.
I mean, in an ideal situation where things like policy decisions are not impacted by who has the louder voices, then sure.
Okay, but I think we absolutely see it when we look at the Discord community of people who just tear into each other. They find each other and then they congregate there. That is not a place that we should be going, well, you really shouldn't be doing that so that other people can. No, that's their place. Cool. We have our own. Like, I'm all for that separation. I just don't think that, I think that it was too simplistic, and that's what was bothering me.
Interesting. I fundamentally disagree with you on this, so we may need to come back and have this conversation.
Do you want a last word before we hop on to the next call?
No, I feel like I portrayed my side of things sufficiently. Okay. I wanted to make sure that you had a moment to release some of that steam, because I could see it coming out of your ears.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we will be judged by the comment section.
Yeah, let's find out.
Who is closer to the mark based on your assumption?
Are we both equally close to the mark, just in different ways?
Or are we both way off base?
Yeah, that's happened as well.